Are you passionate about media, dreaming of telling stories that move the world? Whether you see yourself behind the mic, the camera or the editing set, Majak is your launchpad. Journalist, content creator, filmmaker, photographer, digital media guru. Which one will you be? At the Media Academy for Journalism and Communications Majak, we turn your passion into your profession. Get hands-on in journalism to break the big stories, digital media production to craft viral content, communications to shape messages that move millions, film and photography to tell your vision in every frame. With fully equipped radio and TV studios, modern computer labs and pro-grade cameras, we prepare you for the real world of multimedia. Are you ready to make the headlines? Apply today. We are located at Bakau New Town. You can call us today on 53-31545, 53-31545 or 3725-053, 3725-053. You can email us at communications@majak.gm. Better still, you can visit our website www.majak.gm. Majak, your story, your screen, your future.
Welcome back to another episode of Our Voice. Behind every strong woman, there is a story you haven't heard. A story of strength, resilience, and sacrifice. I am Marie Elizabeth Silva. Welcome to the 16th episode of Our Voice. On today's episode, I am joined by a multi-talented young woman who is making her marks in several fields. She's a trained journalist, a trained teacher, a mother of 4. She's a photographer and a filmmaker. She also serves as a communication officer at MOPSI. Please join me to welcome Aissatou Mbake to Majak TV. Aissatou, welcome.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Thanks for inviting me.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
We are glad to have you on our set today.
The pleasure is all mine.
Can you please tell us a bit about your journey and what inspired you to become both a teacher and a journalist?
Thank you very much, Elizabeth, for that question. Unlike every other Gambian, I started out with what I did not choose because I wanted to follow the crowd. See, when I finished grade 12, I was a really brilliant student. I still am, I think, or I love to think. Yeah. So when I started out, I wanted to do law because at that time, that was the rage. Like everyone wanted to do law. It was kind of considered prestigious. So I decided to go with the flow, not because I wanted it, but just because I just want to, as I said, go with the flow. So I started at GTTI. In fact, I did my certificate and then diploma. When I was about to go to the university, then I was just not really into it. I decided to change tracks, and then I paid for myself to study journalism at Insight Training Center. Then the late Malik Jones was one of our lecturers, as well as Madi Sisi. So I started journalism. But then in between, I became really ill at the time. So I went back to Bansang because that was where my parents were. My father was posted there at the time. So I went back. When I went back to Bansang, just a year or two later, UNESCO, the National Commission for UNESCO in the Gambia, they opened a community radio station at Bansang. So I applied, we went for an interview, and I was lucky enough to be given the position of the radio station administrator or manager at the time. So that made me the first female youngest radio station manager in the whole country. So I continued, then I got married, and then, then I thought to myself, like, I need to push myself. It's fine, I have a job and all that. But the most important thing lacking was education. So I decided to come back. I enrolled myself at the college. And because I have a passion for making finger foods or snacks, I enrolled at the catering. It is a one-year program, the Gambia College. So I did that, and then decided to do HTC. to become a trained teacher. So in 2015, I applied for HTC and I was shortlisted. I was called for an interview. So I started my teacher training journey by studying English language and home economics. Home economics stemmed from my love of cooking and as well as showing. So I just decided to do it because, I am more of a skilled person, I'm a creative person. So I felt something was missing, but actually I did not really understand at the time what was really missing. So I did that, and then I became a trained teacher. And then in becoming a trained teacher, I did my teaching practice at Gaba Jahumpa, that is in Banjul. Then later I requested for a posting to Central River region, and the place I was posted to, my first posting, regional posting was in the Kirkunda basic cycle. So I stayed there until the COVID outbreak, and then I came back. Then when I went back again, I had already gotten admission to the university to study English language, Bachelor's of Education in English language. So it was online because of the COVID pandemic. So in that, I went back to Region 5 and requested for a transfer, maybe on mainland, because the Kirkunda was far off the road. So I then got my postings to stay at Bansang Upper Basic School. Then trying to balance my postings at Bansang Upper Basic School and attending online classes a little bit, became a little bit of a challenge, and as well as home, because that was where my husband's family is, and I was also at home, and then I have to do my wifely obligations. So it became a little bit of a challenge until I also got an invite from the then principal of Bansang Upper Basic School. It's Naila. He said now he is the principal of Later Kunda Sabiji. So I went to Bansang Senior Secondary School. It was a little bit far from Bansang, so I stayed there. I was teaching English and home economics until, the university decided that now education was going to be on-site and not totally online. So I tried, traveling from Bansang to Kanifing for my classes. Then my parents had moved back to Banjul for a couple of years. So I would teach from Monday to Wednesday. Then Wednesday, after teaching my morning shift, I would travel. I would take a car, I would take a van or gele, it's called, or sprinter, from Bansang direct to Banjul. Then Thursday, I'll attend lectures on Thursday. I'll go to Birkam, attend lectures on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then Sunday. Early in the morning, I go back to Bansang. So I tried that for 3 weeks, and I got really sick, fatigue, because I was teaching double shift at the time.
It's a difficult journey.
It's a difficult journey. So I had to write that, okay, I'm going on study leave. So that was how I came back and then complete the other 2 years of my studies. But then in between, I didn't know about Majak. So I attended a workshop. And then, I was like, I really would want to study journalism because it has always been a passion. I told you I started at Bansang Community Radio. So someone told me, but there is a journalism school. Told them, it's there. I said, okay, Majak, because I'm going there. Okay, I had it for my primary John. Yes, and they told me, okay, Majak, I am studying journalism at Majak. So they offer journalism classes. So I thought, okay, how am I going to find them and all that? So he gave me the website. I went there, saw their classes and all that. I even made a call. And then that was how I tried to find out where this place was. I came, asked some questions, and then bought the form. And then in 2023, I started certificate in journalism. Then I was trying to balance my university education with the journalism. And that was how I started until then, when we finished certificate, and then when I was supposed to proceed to the next class, I was in my final year university. So I decided to focus on university in order to boost my GPA. And then just after that, when I was supposed to continue, I later found out that I have gotten pregnant. So I didn't want to, put myself in that mental stress of coming and then with the pregnancy. So I deferred, and then luckily I continued from there.
It was a stressful journey. You see why I said a multi-talented young lady. So I just wanted to know how was like for you to balance both school, being a wife, being a mother as well, and work and everything. How was it like to balance everything along the way?
I'm telling you, it has not been an easy. It's not an easy ride, especially when I was going to university as well as going to Majak, and I was also teaching part-time at Gambia High. So it was not easy at all. So I would leave home early in the morning and come back late. And then I made an arrangement. Luckily, my parents were there to help. So I'll make an arrangement. They will look after the kids for me. After when they close from school, they will go to my parents. That's where they will eat and do all that. And then when I come back around 8 o'clock p.m., I also pass by there, eat, and then take them back to where my husband was. And I really need to be grateful. I really need to acknowledge that my husband has been very supportive. He has been supportive of me and my educational journey. Definitely. Because he will come home to dirty dishes, unwashed clothes, uniron clothes, and he's like, I say, Mom, can you have exam? And he has really been a great help, because if not for their support, him and my family support, I wouldn't have been here today. But really, it has not been easy. There were instances when you have to dress up for class and emergencies come up. With kids, you can never tell. There have been instances of, you studying, you put your handouts and all that, then you need to just take care of something. The 1 minute that you've looked away, or let's say 5 seconds that you've looked away, then comes a child that tears your paper or just do something with it, and you're searching everywhere. There were times when you write your assignment, everything's already written in the computer, and then they just come and touch somewhere, then everything poof, disappeared like that. So it really has not been easy. It has not been an easy ride at all. But then what can we do? We just push and then move forward.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it worth it.
Yeah, it is totally worth it. It was not easy, but then.
What are some of the biggest challenges you have faced as a young woman building your career, and did you overcome them?
For the most part, I overcame them. As I said, trying to balance between being a mother, a wife, and a student was the hardest, and I overcame that. Then you have to overcome pregnancy, childbirth, and breastfeeding, which is a full-time job. And as I said, emergencies. There are instances when you have a test and you cannot come. There are times when you are on exams and something come up with the kids and you're not totally focused, you're not mentally there, and then you don't do well. Not because you cannot, as an individual, you cannot do it, but then there is a lot on your mind. There's a lot in your mind, and there's so much going on with you that at the end of the day, you just don't do what you are supposed to do, or you just mess up your exams and all that. But that is okay too, because in life there are successes and failures, and you knowing that you could do this and not being able to do it because of things that are going on, those are just normal occurrences. So I've overcome that. Another issue is the financial aspects of paying for tuition. That's also another challenge. It's still a challenge because you have to save before you actually get the amount that you need to start. And that also I've overcome in a way. Yeah, because of course I have a job and a side hustle, so yeah, it goes. So basically there are a lot of challenges, and there was a challenge too when I started out, even society themselves, society, and they'll be like, I don't understand why you're still learning. You have a husband, you have kids, you have a job, so why do you have to stress yourself learning and doing, trying to learn a skill and all that? Why is it even relevant? Trying to, at first I tried to explain myself, but then when I realized that there was no point, because they're not really listening. For them, they are like, we are not ready to marry. Like, we have tried to limit women, because we have tried to limit women and then box them in a certain box. And, I was just trying to break free that, yes, this can be done. Despite the fact of me being a mother, despite the fact of me being a wife, there's still a lot I can do. I can follow my passions. So that equally became a challenge, and at first I'd listen to people and I'm like, I had that guilt in me. I'm leaving my kids, so I'm not a good mother. Or, okay, people are doing this for their wives. Like when I look around me and look at people who have chosen to be full housewives, what they do, you wake up in the morning, you're able to take care of everything. Everywhere is neat and tidy. Your kids are sparkling clean, neat and tidy. The food is always ready on time. I feel I'm not doing that much. I felt that I was less of a woman, that I haven't been a good wife. But then again, my husband was like, okay, these are basic things, so just do what you're supposed to do. Do not listen to people. And at some point, alhamdulillah, I decided to just do things my way. And now I am reaping the benefits. Another challenge was when I started out with the filming and photography. And they are like, every one of us have a deep passion. And not only a passion, we have dreams or goals. But some of us do not pursue those dreams because sometimes when we talk to people, they tend to discourage us, or sometimes we are discouraged before we start. So, I try to analyze and look for ways to how do I grow myself. Like all of us, okay, how many of us are teachers? What makes you different and what makes you unique? So the answer is skill. Yes, of course, I have these home economic skills and all that, but so are 100 other people that have the same skills that I do. But how do I set myself apart, or how do I ensure that I am marketable and employable? So I decided to go in for filming and photography. That is an area that even you deciding to work on your own, you'll be able to make money. So I decided to do filming and photography. And because I did that, well, I was sourced from the classroom to the MOPSI communication unit to become one of the communication officers. So you see how that has uplifted me, and then created that marketable or valuable impact in my professional journey. So not only that, I also equally teach my kids, and I have my firstborn boy, he is 9 years old. So he is really competent, good with a camera. He can take pictures, he can take videos, and usually I take him everywhere with me to be my assistant. Because he shows that curiosity, that interest. And at this early age, if he is skilled, that's fine. Equally, I've also mentored students, and we are still on the mentorship program with mentored students on how to be skilled. The job market is hard, so what we're trying to encourage is to make them realize things that make them marketable and things that make them valuable. So you see, it was a challenge when I started out there. Like, this is a male-dominated field, so why would you go there? Sometimes when they see me with my Canon bag, they're like, "Your big bag, where are you going? You are doing this, you are doing that. In fact, you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to do it." But they don't know. Like, these are skills I have. I am thinking of the bigger goal, the long-term goal. All the skills that I've combined, what would happen if I create a business out of it?
It will boom.
Of course it will boom. So I'm just enhancing my skills, and at some point, that is what I want to do. When I become an old woman now, I'll just sit down and then be taking care of my business. Then my kids will also work for me, and then we are fine, good to go.
They will all
I don't have to
benefit
be
from
a liability.
They will all benefit from what you have made.
Exactly.
Don't mind society. Society will still talk. Even if you sit at home without doing anything, they will still talk. If you're working, they will talk. They always look for what to say.
That is it.
This is the society we live in now.
It's all on the mindset. It all depends on your mindset and how far you are willing to go or push yourself.
Yeah. What advice would you give to young girls who look up to you and want to be successful in their field?
I tell them to remain original. We as Gambians, sorry to say, but we have a habit of copying. So I tell them to stay as original as just let them be themselves. And we tend to listen to society, and I told you when I started out, that was one of the things that affected me, and that was one of the things that affected my growth. But then again, you need to stick to what you believe. Whatever you feel that you want, you really need to go in for it. And that is our problem. Because I want to do this, I come to you, seek for your advice, but you tell me your opinion. And we have a habit of taking people's opinion and then leaving out our own. Our own desires we don't follow. We try to look at how we will look like in society. So all those factors, I tell them to ignore all those things. You sit on your own. Feel, think, what is it that I want? How can I do it? And whenever you want something, you know how to make sure whatever you want, you get. So I advise all young women to be go-getters. As I said, being a wife and a mother doesn't stop anybody. As long as you want something really bad, you must be greedy for knowledge. Whatever you want, you must be greedy for it. If you want to be a photographer and a filmmaker, you must be greedy for it. You want to be a journalist, you must be greedy for it. Greedy to seek that knowledge. That will help you learn. That is what will set you apart from, because you don't get to do mediocre work. You get to do the best. You get to give your best. And that is it. In order to be the best, you must be the best, as Mama Carlos will always tell us when we were at college. So my advice to every young woman is, despite everything, your gender doesn't limit you to anything. Being a wife and a mother should not stop you. You being a wife doesn't mean your career has ended. No. In fact, it teaches you more. You know, motherhood teaches you more responsibility. It teaches you maturity. You mature in a way that you have never thought possible. So, and also, you know, it makes you become a manager, because you micromanage everything. Where they go, you become a multitask. You have the ability to multitask. Mm-hmm. Your eyes are everywhere. You are there, you're there, you're there. So, in that way, it teaches you patience. And even it teaches you empathy, understanding, and all those. If you combine all those, you become a very mature person. And when you are mature, you mature in anything. When it comes to education, when it comes to whatever you do. So my advice to them has always been that you just follow you just follow your dreams. It is time to stop. So most of us, we just follow what our parents decide for us. Okay, if I had a dream of being a journalist, and in my lifetime I could not be a journalist, I want to live my dream through my kids. I mean, that is not fair. How about if my kid want to be a driver? And so if he tells me I want to be a driver, I'm like, you cannot be a driver, you must be this. But that is forcing the kid to do what he doesn't want to do. So sometimes us as parents, we try to live our dreams through our kids, and that is not fair to them. They end up not knowing what to do and being too afraid to say, this is what I want to do. When your kids are, from an early age, you must really need to be careful of your kid, or let's just say, you must notice what your kids want, like their talent. Some of them are talented, but then we don't encourage talent. We don't. So when you start noticing where their interests lie, where their interests lie, you also try to nurture that. You try to encourage them with that, because that is what they want to do. But if you want to follow the crowd as I did, you are going to end up wasting a certain amount of time or a few years trying to chase a dream which is not yours. And trust me, you're not going to do a good job of it. But if you choose to do something that you wholeheartedly like or you wholeheartedly want, you are going to do it best no matter what. You are going to do your best. Even if it is at the dead of night, you try not to sleep, or you losing sleep over it, you will. But it's just something. About them. And that is why our job market is like this. Our job, go to any workplace. You have a group of people that just don't care. Sometimes you go and what do they do? You find you are waiting you wait for someone for 1 hour plus. And then they come. In fact, even the way they handle things and all that is none of their business. But if it is something that you love doing, when you go to a workplace, you notice that this person is here because this person wants to be here. Just by their customer service. So that is it. For us Gambians, that has always been our problem. And especially when it comes to the women. They just believe they're just good for a certain kind of, even when it comes to journalism. Most of the women just want to be presenters because that is where they are told, or unconsciously, that is where we believe that we should, like, you are good looking, you can speak English and then you have a nice accent, Mungaslang, so you're just going to sit and then, present. But how many of them are on the technical side? Compared to presenters, most of the time when you ask a person, why do you want to be a journalist, what do they tell you?
Because I have a good voice.
I have a good voice.
I can read.
I want to be a presenter. I can read. I have a good voice. But then I'm a trained journalist. But am I applying to be a presenter and all that? No. My dream is to have my own media house. And that will happen in the near future because I'm not in a hurry. I am one of those people who believe that whatever will come my way when I'm ready, it will.
Definitely it will.
Exactly. So you push yourself. You try always to push yourself. Don't go with the flow. You don't have to, just because my friend, there are some people, when your friend is doing this and then they are like, I want to do this, you also try to do that. Our problem is we don't have career guidance. And I believe it is very important. Every school, starting from grade 10, 11, 12, let us have this career day. Or we try to guide people on careers. Most Gambians, after finishing grade 12, they have no idea what they want to do. Some of them, my friend, I've applied at Majak. So they also apply. What are you studying? Journalism. Okay, let me also apply. They just apply because they want to do that. But then how many of them will really come and tell you, man, this is what I really love? There will be some of them, they really want to study the technical part, but because they are friends and everyone else is trying to be a presenter, they equally say, okay, I'm going to be a presenter too.
And that's the problem.
And that's the problem. You don't limit yourself to basic. Don't ever limit yourself to basic. Try to be marketable in such a way that, you understand that you are valuable. And in that way, you can break free. Even, we need to try to find ways of being employers and not employees. Right now with these talents, all these talents that I have, I told you, I am working towards trying to, ground all those things and then have a business of my own. And in fact, it will kickstart. And when I do that, what have I done? Am I not creating opportunities for others? Instead of working my whole life at one sector and then waiting for retirement and then trying to go in for my retirement money every
time.
Or like with what we do, we just try to, reduce our ages on paper. If I am 35, I will just go to say I am 25 years. On paper, I'll be 25 years old. But personally, I'm 35, but on paper, I'm 25 years old. So when I'm supposed to retire, I'll be old, cannot do my job, but I will still try to be there, working. Because on paper, my real age is older than my age on paper. So I will still retire and be working on contract. You see, that was because we haven't upgraded ourselves. We didn't upgrade ourselves. When we are young, we think, okay, this is Fila Adina, and we keep on jumping up and down, doing all that, except trying to plan for the future.
Yeah, this is the time you
So that is it. I like when I'm pensioned or near the age of retirement, then, in fact, at this time, maybe 2 years from now, I would have start my business, and then it goes. And then when I retire, my business will be there ongoing.
Yeah.
And then we train more youths. And then in future, who knows, I'll also open my own academy.
The dream.
That's a dream. And the dream, it's a dream that I must make happen.
Yeah, and it will happen by God's grace.
Inshallah.
And parents should also stop living their dreams in their children because it will affect them in the future.
No, it will affect.
It affects them a lot.
No, like I always say, we need to break generational poverty.
Yeah.
Now, if we are working, we all want to look good, especially women. Men will tell you, with the hardship and all that. But then my problem has always been young women, especially women. I talk to women all the time, especially women, young women starting out. You have your salary. It's fine. You want to look good and all that. But as long as our responsibilities are different from a man. You are not expected to buy a bag of rice. You are not expected to give out fish money. What can you do? What is wrong with saving probably 200 aside? I'm just forgetting it there. But we don't do that. They're like, yeah, no, take a bit of a hard. Everything is hard. And the next minute, everything is hard. But the next minute, you have an iPhone. The next minute, you go and buy human hair a week. So how is Dikabe hard? Make it make sense. So if, and also mothers too, we have this mentality that, okay, as long as I have a husband and then I have kids, the kids are his responsibility. Fine, they are his responsibility. But I, as a mother, I know that I have an offspring account for all my kids. So at least if it is $250 that goes into their individual account every month for the whole duration of how many years I've been working, don't you think by the time they grow up, they will have a nice sum of money waiting for them? So these are some of the things that we do, that we need to at least start saving a little bit before spending more, and then we need to plan. We need to plan our kids' future. Right now, you have a pension savings. At least when you are older, you won't put pressure on your kid. You won't put too much pressure on your children. Like, they don't have to take care of all of your financial needs. At least have a little bit. Sometimes every month you can go withdraw $1,000 and then, try to enjoy your life. It's just a figure speech, but then again.
We have come to the end of our episode today. Thank you for joining us. It was an honor to have you on our studio today. Thank you for accepting the invitation.
It was a pleasure, and it was a very, very insightful discussion. Thank you very much for having me, and thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for watching. You have been watching Her Voice on Majak TV with Marie Elizabeth Silva. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Join us every Friday at 8 p.m. as we continue to tell the truth. Her Voice.
Are you passionate about media? Dreaming of telling stories that move the world? Whether you see yourself behind the mic, the camera, or the editing set, Majak is your launchpad. Journalist, content creator, filmmaker, photographer, digital media guru. Which one will you be? At the Media Academy for Journalism and Communications, Majak, we turn your passion into your profession. Get hands-on in journalism to break the big stories, digital media production to craft viral content, communications to shape messages that move millions, film and photography to tell your vision in every frame. With fully equipped radio and TV studios, modern computer labs, and pro-grade cameras, we prepare you for the real world of multimedia. Are you ready to make the headlines? Apply today. We are located at Bakau New Town. You can call us today on 53-31545, 53-31545, or 3725-053, 3725-053. You can email us at communications@majak.gm. Better still, you can visit our website www.majak.gm. Majak, your story.